Well, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done some videos. I've just been settling into being a new mom, trying to balance that along with working and taking care of the house, cooking, cleaning, things like that. But it's all going very well. My boy is 5 months old now. Leo River Smith. He is my entire universe. I'm just so completely in love with him. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So yeah, he keeps me busy and I like that. I love being busy with him. I'm loving being a new mom. It's the best thing ever, so I'm so happy. So today I wanted to talk about a part of my pregnancy that I've not opened up about yet, and that is my placenta. So I had placenta previa, and if you don't know what it is when the baby implants and the placenta attaches to the uterine lining. It attaches over the cervix, so the opening where the baby is meant to come out. So yeah, that's what happened with me, and it's something that you can't control. There's nothing you can do to change that or prevent it. It's nothing you did wrong. It's just where it decides to implant and like start growing, and that is something that you cannot control. And it's nothing to do with what you eat or you exercise or nothing like that. It's just, it happens. So if you go back, I'll link it below or do a little card somewhere here. If you go back and look at my hospital stay when I was pregnant during the COVID pandemic, it was actually because of the placenta that I ended up in hospital during my pregnancy. So I was 28 weeks pregnant, if I remember correctly, 28 weeks pregnant, and then I had a big bleed one day, and then we were told to go into hospital, and I ended up staying in hospital for 3 days. And while I was in hospital, I started having contractions, and I actually had to go into medication to stop the contractions so that the baby didn't come earlier, especially that early, because they're very tiny still at that stage. And luckily I have the best doctor ever, and he was able to stop the contractions and stuff like that. But you can watch that video and then you'll find out more all about that kind of stuff. So today, yeah, I just wanted to talk about my placenta previa story. So when I was 22 weeks pregnant, we went in for the anatomy scans. That's the big scan when they do, they check all the baby's brain, the heart, the lungs, all the organs inside, the length, like the whole, like from head to toe, like they check absolutely everything. So it's quite an intensive scan. It takes quite a long time. I think I was in there for about 20 minutes, but our baby was perfect and healthy and everything was right. And then just at the end of the scan, the doctor said that she could see I had a low-lying placenta. At that stage, she was referring to it as a low-lying placenta. So I asked her, what does this mean? And like, is there anything to be concerned about? And she just explained that the placenta is lying very close to the cervix, to the opening, so that it sometimes, most of the time, it moves up as the belly grows, so then it will move up out of the way, but sometimes it doesn't and it stays there or even goes down. Don't quote me on any of these things. Go and do your own research and talk to your own doctors and all that kind of stuff. This is just in my situation, what I was told and like what happened to me. So then I was like, okay, so does this mean that I'll need to have a C-section, or how does this work? And she said, no, not necessarily. We can just wait and see how it goes, if it moves up or if it stays the same, and then closer to the time, to the due date, we'll make that call. But at the moment she's not worried about it, and she thinks it's gonna move out of the way. So I was like, great. I did think about it, but it wasn't like on my mind the entire time. Like, I did think about it, but it wasn't like such a big deal. It was fine. And then, so yeah, with every scan that we did, they just had to go back and check where the placenta was and like all that kind of stuff if it had moved. So every week I was like, or I think I was going at this point every 4 weeks I was going for a scan. So every 4 weeks when I went for a scan, I was like, fingers crossed, I hope it's moved, like everything's back to normal and like, I don't have to worry about it. And every single time it just didn't move. It was still in the same spot, or even like maybe a little bit worse than it was previously. Like it just wasn't going away, it wasn't moving up. And it was quite like every 4 weeks going in, it started getting more like I started getting a little bit more anxious about it because it's just not moving, and by this point it should have moved already. And like but you can't plan. I want to plan for the birth of this baby, but I can't plan for a C-section and I can't plan for a natural birth because we have no idea what it is going to be. So it made things very difficult to I like to plan things, and it just made things very difficult for me because I couldn't plan it in my mind like what it was going to be. I know like birth always goes the way it's meant to go anyway. It doesn't matter what kind of planning you're doing or things like that. So it's not that so much that bothered me, it's just the fact that I couldn't mentally prepare myself for either way or even both ways because I really just didn't know what was going to happen. So yeah, and then my doctor just kept telling me we'll just have to wait and see a little bit closer to the due date, like there's still a chance that it might move. And but obviously with every scan the chances of it moving became less and less and less. And then at my 28 I had a 26-week scan, and it was still like covering everything. And then 28 weeks I went into hospital, and then 2 weeks later at 30 weeks I had another scan. It was still covering. And at this point I started going every 3 weeks for a scan. And yeah, at my 37-week scan, the doctor I think it was 37 weeks and a few days or a couple of days or something like that, and the doctor just said to me like, look, this is just the cards you were dealt. This is completely out of your control. There's nothing you could have done to prevent this or to change it, but it's definitely just not going to be a natural birth for you. I wouldn't recommend it. It's putting your life and your baby's life at risk. You can bleed out and like all of these horrible things can happen, and it's just not safe for the baby and it's not safe for you. So I would recommend having a C-section. And then like at that point, like I was alone in the doctor's office. My husband couldn't be with me because of COVID, so I had to like at that point just decide myself. I had to be like, okay, well yeah, that's just what it is. Not that I would have anyways tried to have a natural birth if it was against my doctor's recommendation, but I didn't even have a moment to just like look at my husband or like say anything to him. I just had to like decide there and then on the spot. So then I said, well, to him, well, whatever you think is the safest for me and the baby, then I'll be happy to go with that. And then he said, yeah, well, if you were my daughter, this is what I would do. And then I was like, well, that makes sense. So then he booked the date. So he actually chose the date, the 3rd of August. It was a Monday, and he chose that date. So it was pretty cool to know what day your baby is going to be born. I have to say that is like definitely a cool part about having a C-section. But my heart was absolutely broken that I had to do that. I just didn't want the long recovery and the scar and the just like not being able to hold my baby instantly and be with him or her. At that point we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. So yeah, to me that was like devastating. Like I really didn't want to have a C-section, but I mean, it is what it is. You need to just do whatever is the safest. So that's what I chose to do. And then so yeah, so that was it. Like mine didn't move. I did a lot of research. I googled so much about placenta previa and like low-lying placenta. It was actually at my 37-week appointment that he officially said, no, now it's placenta previa, not low-lying placenta anymore. It's now placenta previa. So that's when I actually first had the name, like the diagnosis or whatever, not just low-lying placenta. But yeah, I did so much research, and like I was looking up, asking people, and like everyone that I've heard of, theirs moved out of the way. So I really thought that mine was gonna move up. I really did think so, but it didn't. And yeah, that's just it. It's still not, I mean, I've came to peace with it. 5 months later, you have to come to peace with it. It didn't go the way that you planned, or what you wanted, the picture that you had in your head. But like, my boy is here and he's safe, and I'm safe, and we're both happy and healthy, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And I just want to say, like, there's so many people that's negative about having C-sections and stuff, and like, it is difficult because you do have to, like, it does take more time to heal, and it is uncomfortable in the beginning, and it is sore, and like all of these other things that like don't really get talked about. But I just want to say, like, if this is something that you have to do, or that you feel like you want to do, that's going to be based for you and for your baby, then just don't let anyone make you feel guilty for it. Like, yeah, like there's so many people who talk about like, oh, that's like the easy way out or whatever. It's not. It really isn't the easy way out. Like, I've got this scar, it's still sore 5 months later. Like, I was on so many painkillers in the hospital, coming out of the hospital, and still you felt like horrible. You just like didn't feel good. And I know, like, the people who have natural births as well, like they also have a healing process to go through. But yeah, it's just different. I think it's just different, especially if you wanted a natural birth and you had to go this route. You have to also heal from losing out on that experience and what you really wanted. So yeah, if this is what's best for you, just go with whatever your doctor says or whatever you feel is best. Don't let anyone like tell you what to do or what's best for you, because like no one knows what's best for you but you and your doctor, you know. So but yeah, so yeah, unfortunately my placenta stayed in the same spot. I'm sad about it, but like, hopefully, fingers crossed, if we do have more babies in future, that won't be the same again, and like, yeah, it will just be better. The other thing about the placenta being the way it was, because it was kind of like at the front of my belly and then at the bottom, like covering the cervix, is it limited the amount of movement that we could feel from the outside. Even though we felt a lot, it did like limit the movements and the kicks and stuff like that. So that's the other like kind of sad thing about having placenta previa. It sucks, but yeah, I've got my healthy baby boy, and that's all that matters, and I'm so grateful that everything is fine. I'm so extremely happy and grateful and thankful for the amazing doctors and nurses that helped me, not only throughout my pregnancy but also the birth and stuff like that. Like, I just had the most beautiful experience. So yeah, I'll definitely, my next video will be my birth story. So that will be going into details about like the whole day, the build up. It was actually quite special, so I'm looking forward to sit down and chat about that. And then one day my little baby boy, when he's all grown up, he can watch this and like hear all about his journey into this world. Yeah, but if you liked the video, please like and subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below. Yeah, I look forward to chatting with you guys again. Keep well. Bye.